So guys, a lot of people have been reaching out to me and saying, Flo, is there any other visa opportunity that grants me a chance to relocate to the UK and also take along my dependents? And obviously that's a very tricky one, and mostly it's women, mostly it's mothers who have been asking me that question time and time again. I mean, I'm a mom, and that really hits home when, to come to think of it, to say people want opportunities, but also they consider their family status, they consider whether or not they will be able to bring their children along. And guys, today we've actually come across a visa. Fine, I had heard about it, I'd seen people talk about it, I've seen it in papers and everywhere, but I had not really taken keen interest to research and find out more about it. So guys, I actually went on and researched about the charity worker visa, which is a great opportunity to actually relocate to the UK. And guys, that's what we're going to talk about in this video, because I mean, it's another chance to relocate, it's another chance as well to bring along your dependents and family. So guys, we are going to talk about it. What are the requirements for one to relocate to the UK on a charity worker visa? What are the documentation that one needs? And also we are going to talk about where or how to find these companies that can actually sponsor somebody from overseas on a charity worker visa. So stay tuned. And guys, a big welcome to my YouTube channel. For those of you that are watching me for the first time, my name is Florence, and on this channel we talk about life in the diaspora, life abroad. And guys, I love to talk about the UK because I relocated to the UK 2 years ago, if not more, on a care visa, and so far it's been great. Of course, life has got its ups and downs, but guys, we're still here, we're still going. So it will be a great chance for you to join this wonderful family in the UK or anywhere else abroad. So guys, stay tuned until the end, because I'm going to show you how you can find these charity organizations that are actually sponsoring, how you can find them on the gov.uk website. So stay tuned, and don't forget to subscribe or hit the notification bell so that when we share some of these opportunities, you will be the first to be notified. So guys, this charity worker visa is an opportunity for somebody to come to the UK and volunteer. So what that means is the fact that this is not a visa that you can come and work and make a life for yourself in the UK, but you're coming on a voluntary basis. You are coming to work in charities. I'll give you an example of some of the charities that I can think of offhand. It's like you're coming to work for Oxfam, you're coming to work for maybe some hospice organization, or an organization that deals with animals, or an organization like the British Red Cross Society. So these are some of the charities that I can think of offhand, but I'll show you some of the charities that are actually sponsoring at the minute at the end of this video, so stay tuned. So what that means is you will undertake unpaid work. Guys, this can be tricky for some people. This can be scary for some people to say, can I come all the way from Africa and come to the UK just to volunteer, just to not work and get paid? But guys, it's not necessarily that you work for free. Some of these organizations can actually be giving you a stipend or maybe an allowance, but not an equivalent of like maybe having to be paid so much per hour, or maybe having to work so many hours and get paid so much per hour or per month or per calendar year. Some of these organizations may actually provide accommodation for you, groceries and things like that. So that's why we are talking about it as a pathway, as an opportunity for somebody to relocate. There's so many benefits to this one. Also, one of the things that I want to say and emphasize and be open with you about is the fact that this is a temporary visa. It's a 1-year visa. So this visa does not add on maybe to a settlement route to say, if I do so many years on a charity worker visa, I'll then get my indefinite leave to remain, or I'll get my citizenship. No, that's not how it works. If you're coming on a charity worker visa, even if you go on then to find another visa, that year or that time that you have been volunteering will not count. So bear in mind that. But having said that, this is not to say it's not a great opportunity. Guys, I so much believe in this visa. After doing my own research, after going through all the information on the gov.uk website, I thought this is worth exploring. If I was still in Africa and I come across such information, I would definitely consider it, because I'm actually going to share with you some of the benefits to this visa so that you get an idea of what I'm talking about. One of the things that I want to say about this charity worker visa is the fact that you don't have to worry about English proficiency to say I don't have IELTS or I don't have ACTIS, because it's not a requirement. However, your English proficiency or your ability to speak English fluently, to write and read, or to even speak another language can act as an added advantage. So don't shy away from the fact that maybe you speak French or Spanish or Portuguese or Chinese, or the fact that you can actually speak English so well. That can work to your advantage, because I mean, at the end of the day, you still have to apply for this position, so these things come into play, but it's not a requirement that you have to have IELTS. So it's one of the benefits to this route. So guys, this takes us into some of the benefits of you coming to the UK on a charity worker visa. So like I said, this visa allows you to come and work as a volunteer in the UK for a year. The benefits are that you don't need English proficiency, like I said, which means it's a lesser cost visa. Also, this visa costs you less because it costs £269, whereas other visas cost even more. Also, the other benefit to this visa is that it allows you to bring your dependents, which means you can bring your spouse, you can bring your children to the UK when you come to work as a charity worker or as a volunteer. That's a plus, because I mean, if somebody is coming to the UK as a carer, the rules or the conditions at the moment are that you cannot bring your dependents under whatever circumstances. So this looks like a pathway that allows you to do so. So it's a bonus. Part and parcel of the benefits as well are that whilst you're on this visa, you are allowed to study. So there are courses that you can actually attend whilst you're on this visa. This is a pathway for you to upgrade yourself, to upscale, which means you can actually do a course whilst you're volunteering, and this can open doors for other opportunities for you. So it's not like you're just coming and then you're working a year and then you go back home with nothing, but there are benefits to it. Also, this visa is a multi-entry visa, so it allows you to come to the UK, go back home, or to go to other countries. So it's a great way. It's not like you're coming and you're locked in the country. No, it's a multi-entry visa. It allows you to travel. It's like it's a gateway for you to see the world, travel the world, gain experience and things like that. Which brings us to another benefit as well. Obviously, working abroad, working in the UK, and working with these organizations will add on to your skills and experience. Guys, I've been talking about volunteering. Even if you're in the UK, if you are in the care industry, I'm always encouraging people to say go and volunteer with the NHS, because they call it career, volunteer to career, which means it's a pathway, it's a gateway. Most organizations here abroad do value volunteering experience because it says a lot about you as a person. It says a lot about you as a professional. So you go on and do your research on what benefits do I get from volunteering. So guys, which brings us to, I think I've actually shared with you the benefits, so it's entirely up to you. Already, if I was abroad, I'll be seeing like this is a good opportunity. Also, before I go on to my next point, I want to emphasize the fact that when you bring your dependents to this country, your dependents are allowed to work in any industry whatsoever. So they are not restricted to say you can't work. So they can work. I know I said when you come on a charity worker visa, you are not allowed to undertake paid work, but your dependents can take paid work, can work in any industry, which is a great opportunity. I mean, for somebody who has been thinking, how are we going to survive when we go to the UK and we're on a charity worker visa? Your spouse is allowed to work. If you have children who have eligible age, if your children come and they're 16 or whatever, which means they will be eligible to work. Also, one of the things that I want to emphasize is the fact that your dependents can study any course, any program with any institution when they come on this visa. So that's a plus again. Also, guys, I had forgotten this one. The fact that, of course, you volunteer with the organization that would have brought you from overseas, but then you can, on this visa, work for a different organization or work in a different industry for at least a maximum of 20 hours a week. So that gives you a bit of an extra something. In case you've been wondering or asking, what if I'm single? How am I going to take care of myself? At least this visa allows you to work extra 20 hours per week. So that's a plus, that's a bonus for you. Also, besides the fact that you'll be earning on the 20 hours a week, I mean, I have done that 20 hours. It's a lot of money. When you come to the UK, you'll see for yourself. But also, it's a chance for you to gain different work experience altogether. So what it means is you could be volunteering in a certain charity or with a certain organization that would have brought you from where you're coming from. But then you decide, okay, I want to experience how care is, or how IT or accounting or whatever field that you want to explore. You are allowed to do so for a maximum of 20 hours a week, which is a lot, and you gain a lot of experience. Within a year, you could be qualified for other things. So those are some of the benefits that you have to think about above everything. Guys, before I go to my next point, which is the things that you can't, I mean, obviously for every benefit, there are demerits as well. So I'll talk about some of the things that you cannot do on this visa. Guys, this visa does not allow you to access public funds, just like any other temporary or short-term visa. So you will not be able to access public funds. There is no recourse to public funds. That's a fact. Also, the fact that you will only be restricted to work for the employer that brought you. And if you decide to work for another organization, that will be for 20 hours maximum. But that doesn't apply for your dependents. So the benefits outweigh the demerits. Guys, this brings us to my next point, which is what is it that you need for you to apply for this visa? So for this visa, you need a certificate of sponsorship. What this is, it's a reference number that you get from the recruiting agency or the recruiting charity organization that's bringing you to the UK. So this shows that they are a registered company in the UK and they have got the sponsor license. So when they give you this certificate of sponsorship, this means that's the reference number you use to apply for the visa. You also need your TB test because you'll be in the country for a year. That's a requirement. You also need a valid passport, which has got at least a page for them to stick your VGNet. And your passport should be at least 6 months before expiry. So it's always wise for you to have a year, but they say 6 months before expiry. Of course, there are other things like you need to have a good, character standing or good police clearance as well if you're to apply for a visa. Also, the other thing that is a requirement when you go to apply for this visa is the fact that you need to have proof of funds. This proof of funds is money that proves that you can actually come and be able to maintain yourself without accessing public funds, without being a burden to the British government. So what they require, or what the Home Office requires you to have, is a minimum of at least £1,270 in your account. This has to be in your name, and this money should have stayed in your account for at least 28 days. However, some charities or some organizations actually certify or satisfy maintenance on your COS. So if you're coming with such a charity that would have ticked maintenance on your certificate of sponsorship, it means you do not have to show proof of funds. You do not have to have the proof of funds. So the same thing applies for your dependents when they apply. You need to have a certain amount of money for you to be able to bring them over. Last but not least, on the requirements that you need, you also need to attach proof of relationship when you apply. Suppose you're a married applicant, you would need to show proof of relationship Probably what you need is a marriage certificate when you do launch your application. That way it means it will be easier for you to bring your spouse, it will be easier for you to bring your children. However, if you don't have it, there are other means, there are other ways still of proving relationships. So just bear in mind that. So this visa, when you apply it, it can take you from 3 weeks to 8 weeks for you to get an outcome. So it's quite quick, honestly, when we look at it. So as far as you getting this sponsorship, certificate of sponsorship, what you need to do is to find a charity organization that is sponsoring, and then you apply. You do a good job with your application. Some people may say, do I need to have a qualification in what they do? What is it that I need? I think I'll do another video on how to come up with a CV for this charity worker visa. Why will I do a separate one? It's because I don't want this to be too long. But you need to apply to a charity, to apply to be a volunteer. And then when they pick your application and they decide to invite you to an interview, you have to go for an interview, pass the interview, and then they will issue a certificate of sponsorship, just the normal employment procedure. And then you go ahead and apply for your visa. Guys, this brings us to that point where I'm going to show you how to find these organizations on the gov.uk website, which is the official Home Office website. So I'll take you through step by step how you can log in onto the gov.uk website, search for charity organizations that are sponsoring, and come up with your own list of this charity organization. And then once you do that, you then go to their website and then search if they have any volunteering opportunities. So guys, stay tuned as I'm going to take you through a typical search on my computer. So guys, there we go. So guys, you go on your browser and then you type in charity worker visa. So just like that, as you can see from my screen. So this is on the gov.uk website. So you can actually read everything about this visa, the overview, documents you need to provide, everything about your partner and children, eligibility, application, and how to extend that visa, like I've previously explained at the start of this video. So guys, stay tuned as we are going to be showing you how you find these sponsors and how to apply. So you go on there and then you type in sponsor list. So you can do this for any other visa, but today we're focusing on the charity worker visa. So there you get the register of licensed sponsors or workers. You click on there, you scroll down there, there is the register of worker and temporary worker licensed sponsors. So guys, as you can see there, there's an online version, but there's one that you can actually download. So you download on there, and there is our list, the whole list, guys. So it has got all those sections where there's the type and route, town, city or county, then the name of company. So there I'm just enlarging so that you can see. We're extending our screen so that everything is quite clear for you to see. So when you go on there, obviously a list of all the sponsors or all the companies that has got sponsor licenses comes up. But today we're going to customize because we want to focus on the charity worker visa. So we go there on top. We're still trying to fit everything so that it's clear for you. So you click on the route, and then you click on your filter. Then sort A to Z. There, that is states charity worker. So those are all companies with charity worker visas. Guys, when I checked, there was about 1,300 and something companies, as you can actually see. Oh, those are charity worker visas. So the onus is on you, the applicant, to go through that whole list and check which ones are recruiting, reaching out to them. Obviously, once you come up with a nice, good CV, you come up with a template. What I would advise when it comes to applying is that you don't have to use one CV for everything, but you customize it depending on what that charity does. So all those are charity organizations. Of course, I picked a few companies that I wanted to use as examples, so I'll show you in this video. So these vary from churches, religious organizations, schools, research organizations, relief organizations. So it's a whole lot. So your experience or your qualifications or your skills would determine which ones you want to focus on, if you don't want to just do a blanket application. So there I was searching one of the few companies that I thought. So I was looking for an organization that's called Hospice in the Weald. That's the one I'm looking for, because I had researched on it earlier. So just for example's sake, but for you, if you're watching this video, you have to go organization by organization and search to find which ones are currently sponsoring, which ones are currently recruiting and are willing to offer you that certificate of sponsorship. So we are looking for Hospice in the Weald. There, that's what I was doing. Almost there. We are almost there. So this is what you would do. You go on there, you come up with your own list. I mean, I do know that I mentioned when I was applying for a visa to come to the UK, every day I would make 30 to 50 applications. So if we've got 1,350 something or 40 something charities on there, so it's up to you to say, well, I'll apply 10 a day. But if you do 10 a day, it would take you 130 days. So if you do 50 a day, I don't know, 30 to 50, but do a good job. So we are looking for Hospice in the Weald as the first charity. Yes, there it is. So you go on there, you click, you copy, then you go to your browser, you paste on the browser. Right, that's what I'm doing there. You paste, then you press enter. Then it's not loading. So that's Hospice in the Weald. It's in Kent, East Sussex. So there's that option where it says join our team. That's where you go. So it says volunteer with us and meet new people, gain new skills, share whatever. You click on there. So this is how you find these vacancies. So it's loading. There it is. There is our charity Hospice in the Weald. Join our team. So obviously you now know everyone here makes the outstanding care and support we provide possible, our staff and volunteers. So definitely they are on the sponsors list. They have over 1,000 volunteers, so this could be the place for you. They're going to say please use the information below. So current volunteer roles, so the staff vacancies, we mentioned to say you cannot do paid work on this visa, so you go on current volunteer positions. And then there it is, current opportunities, clinical administration volunteer. All those vacancies are closing 4th of December, the 31st of December, 31st of the retail furniture shop volunteer, retail stockroom volunteer, till volunteer. The details are in there. So for the sake of this video, we didn't have to go in detail. That's what you will do, and then you can apply. So those are the vacancies, so which means they actually have got vacancies that are ongoing. That's why I picked this example. There's more opportunities on there where it says retail driver volunteer, and the 31st of December is the application deadline. All those opportunities, online sales volunteer, retail shop floor volunteer. So the opportunities are there. The onus is just on you to apply. The onus is on you to reach out to these organizations. That's one of the things that I've actually noticed. So that's us logging out of that one. So there we are. We are looking for one of the other charities as well that I picked. I was just picking randomly, so you will come up with your own. You can reach out to all those companies on there, click on them like I've shown you, and then you can find out for yourself if they have vacancies going on. So that's the whole purpose of this exercise that we're doing. So that's Great Minds, Bright Futures. I picked that one as well. It's in Liverpool, England. So you go there again, you copy, and then you go on your browser. You paste that on your browser. So I'm actually showing you how you can do this. So at the end of this video, by the end of this video, you should be able to look for these opportunities on your own, which should be easy anyway. So there we are, Great Minds, Bright Futures. It says, do you want to volunteer? So they use different terms. Do you want to volunteer? Do you want to support us? So you click on there, because that's the opportunity we are looking for, an opportunity to volunteer. So there we are, Great Minds, Bright Futures. When people are given the power to shape their own narrative, they are more likely to flourish. That's a lovely statement. Apply it to yourself if you're watching this video. So it says volunteers wanted. We're currently looking for volunteers to help us at Great Minds, Bright Futures, fundraising, collecting aid, and to work in our charity shop, which we hope to open in the new year. So the new year is 2025. It says volunteer now. So if you're interested in none of the above, please email us at, that's the email address on there. So info at Great Minds, Bright Future. So you have to make sure that you've got skills that are relatable to the charity that you want to apply to. Any previous experience, any qualifications that you feel could help you in your application, please put them down. I think I'll do a separate video on making a CV for a charity worker job. So we're going to look at another example as well. That's us searching. Let's see what we can come up with. So this is Global Relief Trust. This is a big organization, GRT, big charity. So you copy that link again, like we've done previously. Go to your browser. You paste onto your browser. Let's see what will come up on there, because the whole point is for you to be able to do it on your own, whether you're applying for a charity. Oh, there we are, Global Relief Trust. It's a leading Muslim charity, so you have to bear in mind the religious affiliation and all the things that they do before you can actually volunteer. So there's no excuse to say, oh, I didn't know, oh, I don't believe in that, oh, I can't do that. You have to make sure that you can relate with the work that they do, with their values as well. So all that are things that they're doing. So you go on there, contact us. We want to see what we can find out on their website. What opportunities are there for you and me. So that's GRT, that's their website there. Those are some pictures. Yeah, heartbreaking pictures. All the more reason why you need to volunteer, why you can volunteer. So they are doing work in a lot of countries, for a lot of countries, but you can only know what you'll be doing and where you'll be best when you reach out to them. So that's the Gaza appeal on there. Yeah, healthcare professionals from Gaza, helping them, empowering future. So yeah, if you're into that, the winter appeal. So yeah, so that's what the Syria. Yeah, so that's just to give you an insight into what they do, so that you appreciate how much your hand or your hands can go. So you copy that link, you do the same things that we've done previously. Now we're going to look at another example, probably one last one before we can end this video. But this was just to show you, this was just more of a tutorial to say this is how you look for sponsors on the gov.uk website. So that's us again. Let's see what we can find. Let us see what we can come up with. So that's Game and Wildlife Conservation Trust. You copy that link again. So this is a whole different charity altogether. You copy it to the browser, you paste, then you press enter. So you could be having qualification in wildlife management. There we are, Game and Wildlife Trust, conduct us, job opportunities. So it didn't say volunteering, so we're just going to click on job opportunities and see what we can find really. Let's see what we can find. Job opportunities. We just never know what we can find, but we can only know once we go in. So there we are on job opportunities. So it says the head office is in Hampshire. There's already a vacance going on, but that's for a farm manager, you know. But it says if you have any spare time and would like to support us, you may wish to consider volunteering. Now that's what tickles our fancy, you and me. So all that write-up is about what the trust does, yeah, as an organization. So there we are. So you click on there where it says volunteering and see what we can find really. So they talk of equal opportunities in employment, regardless of where you come from, what you look like, what you believe in, and things like that. It's worth noting. Whenever people put a note there, it's to assure you of what their position is as far as opportunities are concerned. So you can as well shoot your shot. Yeah, so there we go, volunteering. So some of your time you can help us with our work in game conservation and management, things like that. So they give you a hint of what they do and what job you'll be doing as a volunteer. If we're not donating all your time to support the work, please email. There's an email, recruitment@gwct. You'll see it for yourself, or you can ring. There's a number there for you to ring. Guys, I find this to be very insightful. You could be someone whose visa is about to run out. You could try this. You just never know. You could be a dependent. Try the charity visa route and see where it takes you. That's just my advice. I may not know everything, but let's just push and work towards achieving the things that we've always dreamed about. So that's a little bit about that charity on there. So yeah, there, just for you to appreciate as we conclude this video, all those charities, all those organizations with the potential to bring you from overseas, with the potential to sponsor you legally for you to be able to come and work in the United Kingdom. Guys, please, if you've watched this far, do subscribe. Please share our content and stay tuned on the channel as we'll continue to bring you more opportunities in the diaspora. Thank you so much, and may you have a lovely day. May you have a good time. May you get insight as you go for these opportunities. That's all I had in this video. I'll see you in our next video. Bye for now.